First of all, you may be a member of another long-lived race, which would allow you to naturally possess...
Who gave you that idea? Was it the knave? You'd sink so low as to use a harbinger's words against me.
A curse? I once thought it possible that the aura of an Archon might naturally... But in light of this claim, perhaps what I sensed was not your
You sensed it too, huh, Neverlet?
Lady Furina is actually a human?
Well, it is true that it's extremely difficult to
Well, don't start celebrating too early now. Even if I have been carrying a curse like you said, how does that prove that I am merely a human being? Besides, everyone knows that the main difference between a human and a god is the possession of authority. Gods can do what humans cannot. That's why they're worshipped as gods. For centuries, manifestations of my authority have served the nation of Fontaine. One need only to turn their eyes towards the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal in this very opera house, or consider the...
You tried to reference the Oratrice, but weren't you as confused as all the rest of us when the...
Didn't I make myself clear at the time? The decisions of the
Lady Furina, I believe a reminder, while the court is in session, the principles of justice and the law must come. You will prove yourself unable to defend against the prosecution's charges if you continue to withhold
I never thought you'd use that.
That was no trick of rhetoric, Lady Furina. I've merely reiterated...
So, you neither knew why Child was declared guilty, nor did you understand that instead of having been created by you, the manifestations of authority you mentioned...
The real Hydro Archon. Well, it is true that I did not know why the Oratrice gave out a guilty verdict, but the Oratrice handed out that verdict unilaterally, and it has been operating independently ever since it was first created. You can't argue that just because a divine creation is flawed, that the god behind it must also be no god at all.
She's still throwing out all kinds of excuses. Seems like she's confident that we won't be able to produce...
My power as an Archon. There are many ordinary citizens in the audience. How can I just carelessly...
If that poses a concern, I'm prepared to extend my protection to the audience.
You don't need to go that far.
Aren't you the Hydro Archon? Or is it that you can't even wield the power of Hydro?
Indemnitium! Yes! It's all because of Indemnitium! All Archons derive their power from the faith of the people. Thus did I give up all of my divine power to provide everyone with energy for their...
Isn't that a huge stretch?
Yeah, no matter how generous an Archon can be, how could they give up all their power? Can a god with no power even still be called a god?
It seems like nobody's buying Furina's excuse.